The problem is that we're sacrificing our free exchange of ideas for letting someone telling us that they're smarter than us, and they'll tell us how we will live, how they will tell us, they will govern how we speak, how we live, what we're allowed to believe in, what we're not allowed to. You know what I mean? They'll break it down to everything. But see, the way that they play it is they play it from the outfield and get some outlying things and pull it out there and say, take that away. And we'll all agree to that. Yeah, that makes sense. But then little by little, they start to section us off. And then by belief system, well, you believe that, what? Oh, no, cut y'all out. Next thing you know, they're going to do the next one to the next one, next one to the next one. And next thing you know, all of us will be in the same pen again, this time without any type of power to be able to speak out or fight back.
So it's almost a form, if I'm getting this right, that's almost a form like dictatorship.
It's like a soft dictatorship. You got people getting banned for saying things now. You know what I mean? And you're getting banned off of major social network sites, which is basically the way speech is going to be coming out now, like on a massive scale. If Facebook and Google and all them people are owning all of this and then telling you what you're allowed to say and not. Matter of fact, we put ads out. We had the Revolution video out. They all of a sudden said, oh, so they're blocking us because, you know, they say they got the right to dictate what we can put out, what we can't. What they're going to tell you before you get to see it, that this is too offensive for you. When in actuality, we're just giving you the truth. You know what I mean?
And instead of saying, okay, I may disagree with what's going on,
right,
and I don't have to watch it, just cut the shit off and allow those people who want to be free, allowed to listen to it, or the people who agree with us, you know, channel in on it.
Right.
You know, I think that's more fair than just trying to say, okay, all right, this is what you're trying to do. We're not standing for it, so we're going to shut you down because we have our own agenda.
Right.
You know.
So I think that's in a nutshell. That has a lot to do with it because you know what I mean. When you confuse simple, basic things, and that's going to turn around and then spread and think about education-wise. You know, a lot of kids are struggling with math and English. You know what I mean? That's in the United States. And English is like the main language here. And if they're struggling with that, you know what I mean? Like when it's time to sit down and write something, read something, they have a hard time. You can't get change at the store like you should. You know what I mean? It's basic math. And back in the day, you know what I mean? We had a lot of issues when it came to segregation and all of that. But meanwhile, you had folks in the street that was running numbers so well that they had to take that from us and run the lottery system. All of a sudden, but notice this. When they were running numbers, this was an evil thing. This is a sin. That's the way they characterized it.
Okay.
But how did they sell the lottery? Oh, this is a great thing. It's going to be able to educate. That's what the game that they play with that. Now, peep the new game that they're playing. Weed is evil. They've been saying this for the longest. Well, not the longest. Actually, only since the 1930s, weed became evil. Before that, it was just the medicine. But anyway, 1930s, it became evil. All of a sudden, 2019, we've got hemp is good again. What is hemp? Hemp is the same plant. Cannabis and hemp, same thing. What is the difference? Hemp only has 0.3% THC. That's the active ingredient that causes the high. You know what I mean? 0.3% is the maximum for hemp.
Let's go back to alcohol.
But see, alcohol is something that's synthesized. Hemp is something, this is like the plant that grows from the ground, like nutmeg, you know what I mean? And if you had too much of that particular thing, that could make you have hallucinations, and that's just nutmeg, because the chemical in that can do that, eugenol. But in another thing, when you think about THC, though, the fact that you had a less amount of that in the same plant does not change the plant. But by law, it became two different plants so that they could lock the Mexicans up because they didn't like them. You know what I mean? That's why it became such the pariah that they came. They came with the movies that they came out with and all the negative stereotype. All of a sudden now, CBD oil is everywhere. Who's making all the money? Meanwhile, who's locked up? That's the game they play. This is why you got to unlock get out. You know what I mean? It's good to watch TV sometimes to get information, but you can't just sit there and soak all that up because the philosophy behind it is dangerous. You know what I mean? They'll tell you such things. If they couldn't trick you like that with an apple tree. If it has green apples on it, it's still an apple. But somehow they was able to tell you that a green one is, it has three. Well, an apple tree is really an apple tree if it has 4 apples or less that are green. Now, if it has 5 green apples, then it's not an apple tree. Any other time, we're not going to believe that. But when it came to that plant and people didn't understand what was going on, they believed it. So this is the game that they play. They play on what you don't know.
That's deep. That's deep, yo. That's real deep. And a conversation I had with my mom a long time ago, right? And she, when I was out there doing my thing as a youth, she should say, Will, you killing people, right? Let's fast forward. The government or whoever is controlling the drugs now through pharmaceuticals. Okay, average male, black male, or whoever get caught with heroin, federal charge, you're looking at 10 to 15 years, depending, 20 years, right? And that's your first offense.
And you have to have a gun to do that. So they're gonna throw the charge for the gun on there. They're gonna tack that on there with it.
And this your first offense, right?
Right.
But when they call themselves taxing it, legalizing it, now it's okay. Now they can make people zombies and say, "Oh, this is to get you off the heroin. We're going to give you something else to substitute it." And people's teeth still falling out, the body's still getting effed up. You understand? But then I go back to my mother and say, "Okay, so what they're doing is okay now because because they taxed it, it's legalized,
regulated."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
evil is evil, no matter how you twist it.
Right. It's not like you're putting them in a program to actually get them clean.
Exactly.
They're just stringing them out a different way. Come to us, we the drug dealer.
Exactly. And where's the criminal charges with them? Now they're starting to crack down on quote unquote because it's getting out of control and people are waking up. Or they're trying to blame it on the
No, that ain't because of They're only going out of control for the simple fact that they intend to retake. There's the move, the cities. You know what I mean? The cities to the counties. Before everybody moved out to the nice country land and they wanted the big houses, so then they made the big ghettos in the middle of the cities. Now it's time for the reclamation of the city project going on. You know what I mean? Like, these cities like Baltimore's building up, DC's changed. Look at Atlanta, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of
they say DC don't even look like DC
at all. DC is nothing like it used to be. Nothing. It's all scattered out into the counties. All out into the counties. So, like a lot of the culture that had been in there, now it's kind of spread out. You can see it happening in Baltimore now, too.
Oh, yeah. And then, look, funny thing is, last year, over there by Emerson Village, they built like some new homes or whatever the case may be. Looks new modern day looking type homes, or like condos and shit like that with a porch on it.
Right.
And they had like a little office. I'm thinking it's like a rental office. So I'm like, damn, these houses look nice. Let me just go in there and pick their brain and see how much it is for rent or whatever. I knew it was probably going to be something outrageous that I couldn't afford. $2,500 a month, $3,500 a month. Who the hell has that money? So... especially in a city, So I goes there, and guess what the lady tells me? Oh, no, these not for rent.
What they for?
They for sale. And she gave me some outrageous damn price.
Right.
Like, basically, like, I could tell you, nigga, go ahead about your way. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas about to change. They, you know what I mean? All them houses boarded, they love seeing them boarded up houses. They let it sit like that for a reason. They say, great. Now that you got this place boarded up, we can come in here and snatch these places up. I seen them riding up and down Liberty Road on Saturday mornings, looking at every single house. Oh, I like that one. Writing that down. They coming to take it over.
And real quick, though, because we about to switch to a different segment. What you feel about, I seen something on the news where this black lady was saying, putting painting on the bandos, the border houses. Like, they had paint on them and stuff like that. make the city beautiful. And what you think about that? It's like, no one cares about the paint. Why don't we just buy the damn houses back?
That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing.
I don't care about painting anything on there. Let's buy the houses back.
We should buy the property, buy these houses.
And the land. Have total control so the government won't come back and try to run you out at the motherfucker.
Well, yeah, but at least we got something profitable, but we got to go, though.
Yeah. That is the first segment, Krows Korner. We'll be back with the album review, Smif N Wesson. Peace.
Krows Korner Podcast, brought to you by...
Time to awaken the sleeping giants. Jim Crow. Check Jim Crow online at jimcrowmusic.com. Like the Facebook page, Jim Crow, and also like the Krows Korner Podcast page. To check the rest of our music, click the SoundCloud logo in the upper right corner.
You know this Jim Crow thing, more than beats and drag, more than self-glorified ignorance. Had I heard of that? Jim Crow, no. Original, I ain't no. Pull up, spaz out, DeLorean built out. Flame on the tire tread, exhaust pipe burnt out. Detonate nitroglycerin, get you lifted. Hydraulics in the rear suspension, something vicious. Autographic girlfriend rank, blow the whole stack. Lost cabin pressure like the plane been hijacked. Hang glider, ambush with a tripwire. Other cruise mixtape trash, crow purifier, solar flare. Pose similar to polar bears, ice cold, cook Peruvian raw. Gas stoves, pharmaceutical. Way it played out was beautiful. Skip the dress rehearsal, hour late to the musical. Red carpet, lock scopes on the moving target. Best devices proceed with extreme caution, or at least keep your peace being keep walking. You don't want to levitate beamed up with green Martians. Don't get beside yourself, or you find yourself somewhere outside yourself. Don't get beside yourself, or you find yourself somewhere outside yourself. Don't get beside yourself, or you find yourself somewhere outside yourself. Don't get beside yourself, or you find yourself somewhere outside yourself.
Yo, it's Krows Korner. It's your boy Adam L.
And it's a cub to go.
Your man Wahid is out on the weekend. Took the time off. So, this is a segment for the rap review. And the rap review today is Smif N Wesson. The album's called The All. A little brief history with me and Smif N Wesson. I believe they came out like in 91, 92, something like that. And at this time, I'm just really getting into hip hop. Not in the sense of wanting to be an MC. It's just like I'm really my ears are starting to gear towards hip hop. Because, you know, like in the 80s, there was KRS-One, Rakim, Cool G Rap. And as a kid in the 80s, I would find myself knowing their songs by heart. Mm-hmm. But the 90s, when the 90s came in, hip-hop started to affect me in a way of how I lived, what I saw, and stuff like that. And during this time in high school, there were a lot of cats that would rap in the cafeteria. And if you wasn't nice, don't even show up at their table. Because they would, rap your way from the table. Like, basically, you're a scrub, don't even come at that table. And there was always that dude with the dreads that was the nicest. You know? But my thing is with Smif N Wesson at the time, this is when I was starting to become like a big Wu-Tang head. Mobb Deep, Snoop Dogg, and Dre, Dr. Dre over the West Coast. So that was my ear candy. That's what I was drawn to. And the Ghetto Boys, because my cousin, he put me on with the Ghetto Boys. He was a big Ghetto Boy fan. He used to listen to South music a lot before dudes even cling on to the South.